everyone. We're going to get started with the webinar. I'm going to turn it over to our moderator, Ron Smith.
This is Ron Smith. I'm a member of the National Disability Institute, and I welcome everybody to this call where we're going to talk about generation for NDI and what we all have called the Real Economic Impact Tour. But before I go into this conversation, I'm going to turn it back over to Nakia to kind of do some housekeeping and ground rules.
Thanks, Ron. REI is a national research and development organization with a mission to promote income preservation and asset development for persons with disabilities and to build a better economic future for Americans with disabilities. Just a few of housekeeping. The audio for today's webinar is being broadcast through your computer. Please ensure that your speakers are turned on and up, and if you're using headphones, to plug them in. You can control the audio broadcast via the audio broadcast panel, which you see here. And if you accidentally close this panel, you can reopen it from the top menu by going to Communicate and going Audio. Some also that'll just drop out, the sound will drop out, so you can also use the Communicate Join Audio Broadcast panel to restart the audio. If you would prefer to listen to the webinar through the phone, you can see the number here with the mute, and you do not need to enter an attendee ID. During the end, we will have a small question and answer section. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, you can use the chat box or the Q&A box to send questions. Send them directly to me, Nakia Matthews. And if you are listening by phone and not logged in, you can send questions to Johnette, and she and I will field all the questions to the panelists. This email is kmetz@ndi-inc.org. Please note that this webinar is being recorded, and the materials will be placed on our website at www.realeconomicimpact.org. I'll turn it back over to Ron.
I introduced Johnette. A little background to kind of set this up. I've been for the board of National Disability Institute since December, or actually January 1st of this year. You know, it's a volunteer board made up of and philanthropic leaders from across the country, and what's exciting about it is that all of the board members have a sort of a unique connection to the passion of the work that the National Disability Institute is engaged in. In my particular case, I have a son who's profoundly deaf at age 1. He's almost 40 now, and I go back to the rights we had prior to the Americans with Disability Act, and have a long history of some of the issues, as do all members of the board have some unique connection similar to mine to this work. A little history on how we kind of got here with this Real Economic Impact Tour. When becoming a member of the board, I worked for the Internal Revenue Service, the SPEC office. I think many of you on this call know me from those days. The Stakeholder Partnerships, Education, and Communication of the IRS. We stood up in 2000 when the IRS reorganized, and we were designed to provide services to underserved populations, predominantly low income. Well, we looked at how we did the model and what we were trying to do. The IRS had predominantly had a VITA program for 40 years, and not a lot of capacity in the VITA program, predominantly run by IRS, a lot of staff at the IRS to do the service. So we looked at coming up with a model to expand that work, to connect tax education to free tax prep. And then we came up with the concept of adding asset building and financial literacy concepts to our model. We called it the community-based partnership. We were successful in the IRS of bringing partners together to create this partnership model. Had, over national partners. We created over 300 coalitions across the country that championed this work. And in 2004, when Chief Auditor of Community Partnerships, Richard Keeling, who is on my staff, many of you know Richard. He's also a person with a disability who who was on my staff, said, looked at our model and said the group that we were not reaching well in this model is we really didn't have partners who from the disability community, persons representing persons with disability. So we for a partner to kind of bring that piece to our model, and we were fortunate at the time to meet Johnette and Michael from the National Disability Institute. They were, very organization, a small organization at the time, and we started with trying to bring the tax issues and the access divide and asset building to these coalitions. There's unique issues that persons with disability have as it resolves tax benefits. The issue is the loss and the fear of losing benefits. So at the Tax Facts campaign in 2005, when we started trying to build and we started bringing these organizations to the table, and Richard and I started around the country, and we were fortunate in that time to have some organizations that provided some of that money for us to be able to provide some small stipends and grants to organizations. And we started to go across the country and trying to bring the disability community into existing coalitions by trying to identify a lead partner and convene work groups. Well, it became sort of a model that we started to embrace, and so we decided to change the name from the Tax Facts campaign to a tour, because in fact it was a tour. I think Jet, Richard, and I, and Michael probably went to well over 100 cities trying to convene the existing coalitions with the disability community. And a tremendous success. The 2005 to forward, the number of persons that we're able to bring into this model has been incredible. I think that's in the slides, and I think Johnette's going to cover some of that. So it's very exciting when I decided to retire from the Internal Revenue Service last year, and I was invited to join the board and to be able to stay in this work that was probably the most exciting piece of what I did in the Internal Revenue Service in my 40 years there. That short introduction, I'm going to turn it over to Hartnett, who's the Director of Strategy and Research at the National Disability Institute, to continue this conversation. Johnette?
Thank you, John. Thank you so much, and thank you to IRS and all of those of you on the call today from IRS for tremendous support and loyalty over the past really 9 years of building this important work. There is little doubt that Ron is definitely the grandfather of the disability work on behalf of the IRS Stakeholder Partnership Education Division, and without his leadership and guidance in terms of moving this work out into the country when we first started, it would never have happened. First year we went out, I think we worked in 11 cities, and I think there was about 7,000 returns, and I know this past year, in 2012, we were in over 100 cities, and I believe that there was over 450,000 returns. Would you move the slide for me, Nikia? Okay. I just want to do that over the past 8 years, we have worked with, I think our success has been, as Ron said, going into the communities around the country and working mainly with non-disability communities to help them understand the working with people with disabilities. Here we go. And we actually have worked with more than 900 organizations in more than 100 cities. The community partners are the ones that really have done the work. We have been the ones that have come in with the technical assistance, and you're going to hear a lot about how that has grown today and how we've expanded it and really moving forward to serve people with disabilities. We have realized, as Ron said, that this is really no longer a city-to-city tour. partly because we've been doing it for about 9 years, and it makes more sense because, as we know from some of the data that has been coming out from IRS, there's 100 million Americans, taxpayers, that have adjusted gross incomes of $57,000 or under, and many are not receiving the services that we are offering. Right now, with the traditional volunteer income tax assistance work, I think about 3.5 million accessed those free services this past year, and IRS did a survey last year that about 18 million people said they would use the services if they knew about it. So there's a lot of exciting pieces that we're going to be doing, and we're working using technology, which I'll talk about toward the end of this this call today. But we are definitely expanding and moving to a virtual model to really serve an ever-growing number of local groups needing and wanting what the REI Tour has to offer. And Ron said we have grown beyond our tour name. And we have a network of partners that are working together to expand the tax and financial stability services to people with disabilities. With that, I would like to introduce Michael Morris, the Executive Director of the National Disability Institute. Michael.
Thank you, Johnette. It's a pleasure to share this stage, this virtual stage with you, Ron. I know when I founded the National Disability Institute, we had just a beginning set of ideas that we could do something to change the conversation, to really get as many people, as organizations, as many government agencies, get the business community, get everyone involved to just think in a different way about economic progress for people with disabilities. The next generation of our work together is to move, as Johnette just said, from being a tour to being a real economic impact network. What is a network? A network, I think, means different things to each of us, but what I hope you will do and join us is becoming really engaged in new, expansive, positive ways with all of us in what I consider a community of ideas, a community of vision and commitment to advance a better economic future for people with disabilities and their families nationwide. Mean to be the REI network? Well, it means that it's each of you, whether you work at a nonprofit or part of a community tax coalition, or perhaps you're in an organization that is focused on asset development for low-income working families, or part of a financial education initiative, or you work in the private sector for a financial institution, or a corporation that's interested in hiring, retaining, and advancing workers with disabilities, or you're part of a federal, state, or local government agency. What agency is singularly focused on support for people with disabilities, whether it be education, employment, transportation, access to health care, or long-term services and supports. I think we share a common bond. And the common bond is around a better quality of life for people with disabilities. It's about ultimately inclusion of people with disabilities in the economic mainstream. So, what does it mean today and for the future? How do you become a part of the Real Economic Impact Network? That's what I want to share with you. I've been a part of National Disability Institute's Real Economic Impact Tour in the past. There's nothing you have to do to become a part of the network. We automatically embrace you and consider you a part of this new and growing community. There is nothing you need to do to join. But find yourself on this call today and you haven't been a part of the tour, but you want to join with us, this network is going to be expanding. Our footprint is in all 50 states. Our footprint is in over 100 cities. Our footprint will grow, whether you're an individual, whether you're in the public or private sector, whether you're leading an organization, whether you're a person with a disability, whether you're a family, whether you have a friend or a relationship with someone with a disability. If you share our common values, which is to advance a better economic future, to help people stabilize their economic situation, to think about a vision of economic empowerment where you have more choice and control in your life, then you're going to want to be a part of the Real Economic Impact Network. Nothing about the tour in terms of our interest in you through emails and notifications, through free task tools, through training and technical assistance, none of that is changing, but going to be different and hopefully as enhancing and as valuable to you as ever before. We hope you will continue to access a spectrum of NDI's assistance to help you expand your outreach to the disability community through tax and financial stability programs. We hope you'll access us, our expertise of our staff, both in Washington, D.C. and across the country, in terms of tools, trainings, special events, information materials that we offer you. Whether it's around tax preparation, or it's a financial education program, or it's asset development strategies, or fundamentally helping and supporting people with disabilities to become a part of a workforce and part of the economic mainstream. Whether it's about changes in public policy, which we are committed to making to make it easier to work, save, and build assets for people with disabilities, or as part of understanding the maze of federal programs and public benefits and help you become educated and an informed decision maker. These are still going to be the centerpieces of what we do. Real Economic Impact Network tab can still and will really be available for the first time on our website today, www.realeconomicimpact.org, which will include information on the growing array of NDI's initiatives, projects, and programs that will help you become a part of the Real Economic Impact Network. For anyone who may not be yet a part of the tour, there are ways you can get engaged and become more involved. Sign up with us to be a part of the REI network at www.realeconomicimpact.org. You may sign up for one of our e-newsletters or info emails in the box on our homepage, which keep you in touch about how the network is growing, new initiatives we're beginning to launch, new information materials, online courses and other things that you find personally valuable or you will want to share with a friend or with others in your organization or coalition. Hope that you will pass along the opportunity and pass the word is that this is a free network. This is an opportunity to become economically empowered. NDI will not be able to offer any grants this year to coalitions. The full complement of free tax support you've come to expect from NDI will still be available to you, our tax partners, through virtual toolkits, through effective strategy handouts, training, including brand new online free e-learning courses for VITA volunteers, and much more. I want to next share more information with you by turning this forum over to Elizabeth Jennings, who is Director of Training and Technical Assistance for National Disability Institute and has worked closely with me and with others here, and many of you have met through her many webinar presentations to give you even more of a glimpse at the kinds of tools and the kinds of initiatives that you may be able to be a part of in the future. So Elizabeth, let me turn to you.
Thanks so much, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really an honor for me to have this opportunity to share with you some of the many tools we're going to be providing for you this year. I want to make sure you know right off the bat about the new disability awareness training that we're providing. It's a free online course for VITA and TC volunteers. This brand new free course is on our e-learning platform, and it's entitled Disability Awareness Training for VITA TCE Volunteers. It's very similar to tax law training, IRS's Link and Learn. It provides basic tips on interacting with persons with disabilities, information to eliminate myths and increase awareness of a growing demographic served at free tax sites. And it's approximately 30 minutes to complete. And the really nice thing about it is that volunteers can access the course in the comfort of their own home, in their office, or even on their smartphone. And we'll have information on who's participated. Training includes information on what is a disability, identifies different types of disabilities, provides an understanding of people first language, provides tips to better communicate with people with disabilities, and explains what service animals are and how to interact with them. You get the training on our website. You can go directly to ndi.elogiclearning.com. Stress again that thanks to the support of our sponsors, this e-learning course is available free for VITA and TCE volunteers and can be a great addition to your tax time trainings. All this year, we're going to be expanding our webinar series. This series is free and available to tax coalitions, disability partners, asset building partners, and state and federal agencies. We plan to hold the webinars every third Thursday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern. Of course, this is subject to change. The webinar series will be delivered by a team of experts, our National Disability Institute staff, on a variety of topics relevant to disability etiquette, acts and accommodations, engaging and collaborating with disability organizations, and partnering with America's Job Centers. Some of the topics are going to be those that you've come to expect from us, and some will be new. This year expanded our virtual toolkit. The virtual toolkit gives you resources and tools to expand outreach and effective collaboration with the disability community and accessibility of services and facilities. I'm going through the different components of the virtual toolkit. It includes disability awareness, which we've already discussed, tax access, effective strategies, 30-second trainings, and benefits interaction chart. The Access Project, as you may know, started as a pilot project in 2011 to increase awareness and offer technical assistance to free tax sites in 6 pilot cities in the southeast portion of the United States. It's a collaborative project between NDI and the Southeast ADA Center. It provides a forum or a safe zone for tax coalitions to ask important questions about accessibility and the ADA and receive answers through email from disability accessibility experts. You have a number to call to access the project, or you can have the link right there to access tax access directly. If you haven't visited the site recently, you might want to check it out for this tax season. It gives different tools like frequently asked questions, facility checklist, and other tools to support your service to individuals with disabilities. Our toolkit are effective strategy handouts. These offer us an opportunity to highlight to you best practices and case studies that you can distribute to individuals, commission members, or use as a tool to implement new strategies into your existing program. These, of course, are available with the other virtual toolkit pieces on our website. If you've ever had a chance to use some of the 30-second trainings we provide, they're also part of the virtual toolkit. They're short, easy, interactive, and fun. They're designed to be a test, but they do help people increase their knowledge on a variety of topics. Each training is created to be about 30 seconds to review and can be viewed on any computer and is downloadable from NDI's website. These interactive trainings include national resources where individuals can get additional information. Again, you can find this resource on our website under the Virtual Toolkit. Finally, we offer a benefits interaction chart within the Virtual Toolkit. This provides general guidelines on how the Earned Income Tax Credit affects public benefits, and so it talks about both sides of the public benefit, both the income and the resource limitation. There's legislation sunsetting this year that has simplified the impact of tax refunds on public benefits. So as we update this benefits interaction chart, it's going to be an important tool for you as you serve not only individuals with disabilities who receive public benefits, but any taxpayer who receives public benefits and is interested in understanding how those benefits may be impacted by a tax refund. So a review of the different tools and resources we're going to have for you this year. You're going to be receiving the same high-level quality of information from the staff members at NDI that you've come to know and love, and we hope that these will be great tools for you to use as you engage in serving individuals with disabilities during your tax season. I'm going to hand off to my colleague, Dr. Johnette Hartnett.
Thanks, Elizabeth. And I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of the My Free Taxes program, which is a program that the National Disability Institute has been involved with United Way Worldwide and One Economy over the past 4 years, and this year we're so delighted to have Goodwill International as a new partner. And this is a Walmart-sponsored program, which is really pioneering inclusive financial stability, and it is a multifaceted model for increasing access to the Earned Income Tax Credit through free tax and self-tax preparation assistance. We are looking for a new footprint in terms of expanding for disabilities, so we are delighted to be working with the U.S. Department of Labor's Public Workforce System, currently known as America's Job Center Network, and they will become a new partner with this work. We will have tax coaches in 10 centers, regions around the country, and we are very, very excited and looking for the 5th year of this project to really expand the online self-tax assistance, which is the piece that we are really going to focus on. And as I said earlier, so many of our taxpayers are really looking for help and assistance in getting their returns done, and IRS as well as many of our partners are saying the technology, the online version is very much needed right now, and we're very excited. So stay tuned for that, and I know many of you are already involved in this project across the country. And I think with that, I will turn this over to Michael.
As I've learned about the My Free Taxes initiative, it really has unlimited potential. It over time will and should touch the coalition efforts in all cities across the country. And for people with disabilities, it's one additional way that without dealing with issues of or challenges of transportation and other issues that come up, really gets to get their taxes done and access to Earned Income Tax Credit and other favorable tax provisions. I think before I open it up to questions, I just want to share with you and acknowledge the incredible team at National Disability Institute who have worked on the Real Economic Impact Tour and now will be at the heart of the Real Economic Impact Network. You heard from Johnette, and you've also heard from Elizabeth. I also want to acknowledge and also at least introduce to you and for you to know that these individuals will also be the backbone and foundation of the work of the network. Let me introduce to you as well Michael Rausch, NDI's Manager of Financial Empowerment and Innovation, Katie Metz, NDI's Manager of Financial Empowerment and Inclusion, and Jamie Robinson, NDI's Manager of Financial Empowerment and Workforce. And then backing all of this team up is, of course, the work of Lisa and Nakia in the communications area, who are really behind the scenes so often, putting the pieces together in terms of our community outreach, our media relations, our website, our use of new and social media. All these pieces are a part of what I think I dream about someday. Is this network has literally thousands of organizations that have said, hey, we believe in the value system that created this network. We want to be a part of it. We are committed to the goal of economic empowerment for people with disabilities, all of which is a part of just a broader context of communities that appreciate the value of all its members, including people with disabilities. We all want to be a part of the economic mainstream, and so many of you, whether a person with a disability, you work in the public sector, or you're part of the private sector, wherever you are all part of this community, which through information, through training, through collaborative strategy development, we can really change what the course of what's going on now in this country. People with disabilities are going to be able to find their personal pathway to a better economic future. No one organization, no one individual, no one group is the key. The key here is the power of the collective energy, collective commitment, the power of collaboration. That has always been the essential ingredient of our work with you, our work on the Real Economic Impact Tour, and will continue with our work on the Real Economic Impact Network. So I don't know if there are any questions or comments, but let me open it up to you, and I will do my very best to try to be responsive to your comments or questions. And I might need help from Nakia to
sure. I'll just I'll go ahead and read you the questions,
okay,
and I'll open up the lines for all of the presenters.
Great.
And anyone who can answer can answer. I just want to say to everyone, if you have questions, you can use the Q&A or the chat box to send them to me, and I will relay them to all the panelists. The first question, this is a My Free Taxes question. I heard that the limit for free taxes this year was $57,000 for 2013. I thought 51. Is that referring to something else?
Right, answer that.
I'm not sure if the number is going to be 57. I believe it is, but we can post that in the follow-up. We can go back to RS contacts and assure. I'm not sure what the agreement model is going to be this year with the software providers.
Right. As the software for the My Free Taxes campaign, the income eligibility was income of $57,000 or under.
Next question. Am I understanding correctly that a significant fraction of these programs are geared more towards providers of information to people with disabilities than to individuals with disabilities?
So this is Michael, and let me answer that. Is many of our programs are geared, as you said, to organizations, coalitions that will then reach people with disabilities. We offer a lot of information and a growing number of educational tools that are directed right to the person with a disability or to a family where there is a member with a disability. And so we really see our role is in doing both. And we, in our education and benefits trainings, in our asset summits, in our e-learning platform, where we're beginning to develop new coursework, which will be self-paced, and some will be directed directly to people with disabilities. I think that you will find a lot of ways, if you're a person with a disability or a family member, to be the direct recipient of activities from the network.
If all the questions we have, if anyone else has a question that they want to send in, feel free to do so.
While we wait to see if there are any additional questions, let me just take a moment to thank all of our sponsors. We would not be who we are today as an organization, a young organization, not a very large organization, but as I have said over and over again, the power is in the power of collaboration, building relationships, cultivating relationships, sustaining relationships. I want to express a particular appreciation to our corporate sponsors, Walmart, Bank of America, Accorda Therapeutics, who without their support couldn't be doing the kinds of things we're doing today, and as we look to the future, continue to grow the work of the network. I also want to and could not say enough about our relationship with the IRS. As Ron said in his opening remarks, is all of this would have happened if it wasn't that beginning set of conversations between the IRS and Net and all of us here, realizing that wow, there's a gap in information, there's a gap in awareness about understanding beneficial tax benefits for people with disabilities, earned income tax credit, and other benefits. And that conversation has grown to this community that keeps growing. And IRS, I don't think we could say enough good things about what you've done with your staff in SPEC and staff at upper levels and staff located across the country. We also have benefited from great relationships with U.S. Department of Labor, Department of Education, other federal agencies that also recognize that people with disabilities really want a step up. They really want to be part of the economic mainstream. People with disabilities want to work. They want to save. They want to have a status that grows economically, and our work and our commitment is to changing the world that we live in. Policy in state capitals and at the federal level, and to work with all of you in so many different ways to recognize the commonality of interests. What is fundamentally a universal truth. We want a piece of the American dream, and people with disabilities across the spectrum of disabilities are increasing numbers, being in the workforce, having new questions about savings and stabilizing their financial status, and ultimately about economic mobility and economic self-sufficiency. So it is why we are here, and it's why we will continue to reach out to you and work hand in hand, work together to really change attitudes, to change thinking, to change behavior that promotes this sense of economic empowerment for all people across this country, people with and without disabilities. Kia, are there any more questions?
A couple. First, we had some clarification from Richard King and some other participants on 51,000 thing. 51,000 is the traditional VITA income limit for services, and 57,000 is the income limit for my free taxes. So another question came in. I'm a widow and have slightly more income available than would make me eligible for the tax assistance services. I'm a person with disabilities and have had to pay a large amount of money to have my taxes prepared. What are my alternatives?
On that one, I'm going to have to turn to Ron. We'll be able to get help through VITA in some way.
This is on, for the online services, those income limits are fixed, but for the VITA sites, at the VITA sites, have the flexibility to serve low to moderate income taxpayers, and in most cases, it's been our experience that, with exception, there's not a hard and fast income limit that they use, especially with the other population. So I would think that if this person visited a VITA in their community, it is likely that they would get assistance.
And also the AARP tax aid program really caters to a 50-plus population as well, and they're very generous with their help.
Any other questions?
Yes, one more, and this I think Elizabeth might be able to handle, or this person could email me. I'm in the process of reading an organizational newsletter and would like to include some information concerning people with disabilities. Is there someone who can review my article to make sure it's accurate? This is from user. I'll send that user a direct message, but also on our website there are some great general tips about do's and don'ts, disability etiquette, person-first language that could be really useful in writing articles and things like that.
Also, those of you on the line, anytime you want to think about your communications out to the disability community, you might want to take a first look at the different tools we're offering you, particularly through the virtual toolkit, as we do provide different scripts, like particularly around the Q12 question and other supports that you could use to help you as you develop your tax tools for this year and as you communicate back out to the disability community. And as we're here to help you, so if you do have a question, feel free to email in to us and we'll do our best to support you.
I think that's it for the questions, Michael.
Okay. Let me simply end by thanking all of you for joining us today. Hope you have both their understanding and a sense of excitement about becoming in the future more engaged and more involved with the Disability Institute's Real Economic Impact Network. Regardless of where you are, whether you're an individual, family member, organization, work from an agency, or in the private sector with some of our wonderful financial partners, both with banks and credit unions, and a growing number of employers who become more engaged in diversifying their workforce and recommitted to an inclusive workforce. Regardless of who you are, we hope you'll join us. We're making progress. There are more people with disabilities aware and raising their expectations about planning and doing to really become individuals in the workforce who are committed to savings, asset building, and advancing for each person with a disability in each individual circumstance a better economic future. So we hope you will continue to visit our website, our social media outlets, and we look forward to you being a part of this wonderful community committed to common goals. Again, thank you, and we look forward to being engaged in the remainder of 2012 and look for bigger and better things together in 2013. Happy days, and please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. Thank you.